Hello guys, and welcome to the Collapse of the Roman Empire PowerPoint video. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go through this PowerPoint, and you guys are going to take notes. This is a video, so you can pause at any time. Have a blank piece of paper that you can take notes on. You will need to use these notes for tomorrow's assignment, so you don't want to have to watch this video again. So go ahead and take your notes now. You don't need to write everything down. Rather, I would say just take notes on the things that I have underlined or things that I point out in the video. It is a video. Pause at any point to jot down the information as you need to. Please do keep your notes for tomorrow. Again, I don't want you to have to watch this again tomorrow in order to complete the assignment, so make sure you write stuff down. All right, we are going to talk about the collapse of the Roman Empire. The first dude that we're going to talk about is this. Here's my pointer. This guy, okay? His name is Diocletian, okay? Diocletian, he is the dude. He reigned from 248 to 305 AD. That is after Jesus has died, about 300 years after Jesus has already died, resurrected. Easter's coming up, so we can talk about Jesus being resurrected. That's exciting. Anyways, he thought that the Roman Empire was too large to be ruled by one person, so he did something about that. He divided the Roman Empire into two parts. At first, he just appointed somebody over one half and he ruled one half, and then eventually he changed it to where he appointed assistant rulers for each of the halves, and that made his power even less. But even though he had less power, it allowed the government to be more easily run because one person wasn't in charge of so much, and the borders were better protected because they had two separate groups kind of controlling and protecting each side. So those were some positive things that he did. Some negative things that he did is he was a great persecutor of Christians. He really did not like Christians or didn't want Christianity to flourish or grow. So he thought that in order to get rid of Christianity, that it would stop if Christians were persecuted. So he ordered destructions of places of worship, just burned them down or tore them down. There was a lot of burning of scriptures, and many religious leaders were thrown into prison, and a lot of Christians were murdered. There was a 9-year order or edict that he put out that was an official persecution order or time. So that was not one of his positives. When he retired from when he retired from being emperor, civil war broke out. All right. Remember, guys, you can pause it if you need to, and you also don't need to write down everything as we're going. Okay. The next person we're going to look at is Constantine. So he came after the Civil War. He rose up in the military and eventually became the emperor of the Roman world. And he did a couple of things. One, he reorganized the military and the government, and he unified and strengthened the empire. So he took what had been two, like a Western and an Eastern Roman Empire, and unified it into one singular empire that he was in charge of all. This strengthened the empire because it united them. And he also issued a decree called the Edict of Milan. The Edict of Milan was important because it legalized Christianity. This made it so the persecution officially stopped. Because of this, many people became Christians. It also made Sunday a legal holiday, and it rebuilt many churches that had been torn down. I should say torn down. Okay, rebuilt many churches that had been torn down. He also kept a large army and had many government officials. So he was trying to have control over the entire empire. Remember, because it was all one, it's all unified, that means he needs a lot of government officials and a really large army. So that made it strong, but it weakened the economy. So that he lost a lot of money due to spreading himself out. He also spent a lot of money on building a brand new capital called Constantinople. This is in what is now Turkey today. And it was a beautiful new capital, but drained the economy even further. So under Constantine, did a lot of great things, stopped the persecution of Christians, unified and strengthened the empire, but also drained the economy and lost a lot of money due to all his efforts. All right, the last guy that we are going to talk about is Theodosius. Okay. Theodosius the First, he became emperor in 395 AD, and he fought several battles. At the beginning of his rule, he fought against barbarians, so people who were coming from outside into the empire. He also fought 2 civil wars. That is, wars that people are basically trying to take over control of the empire from him. But he ended up being victorious in those civil wars. And his fights against the barbarians, he never quite conquered them, but he did enough to kind of push them out of the empire. So after those battles, he made Christianity the official state religion. So that changed it from what Constantine did. Constantine made it legal. Theodosius made it like the official state religion. That means it's the sort of government religion. At his death, he divided the empire again, but he divided it in between his 2 sons. So one son got each side, Western and Eastern. Unfortunately for the Western part, it fell to invasions. So the Huns came from Asia, led by a guy named Attila the Hun, moved across Asia and eventually into Europe and came into the western part. The Vandals, which were a Germanic tribe, invaded Rome, and the Visigoths, another Germanic tribe, defeated the Roman army. Okay, so I'm going to just go to the next slide. We'll come back to this in a second, but here you can see this is the western part. This is the part that's falling to invasions. So we have the Huns coming here, and then the Visigoths are coming over here, as well as the Vandals later on. So this over here, this eastern part, this stayed strong. The western part ended up falling. Okay, so western part falls to invasions. The eastern part lasts for another 1,000 years and eventually becomes the Byzantine Empire. All right, guys, that is it for the day. You are officially done with history. Make sure you keep your notes. You are going to use them tomorrow in an assignment that will be posted on Google Classroom. All right, guys, talk to you later.